Concerns over political violence are hitting at a critical time. Right now, FBI Director Kash Patel, who you're looking at, is facing questions from the Senate Judiciary Committee. With the assassination of Charlie Kirk under a microscope, the suspected killer in that case is expected to appear in court in Utah this evening. Meanwhile, in New York City, another politically charged murder is in the spotlight. Luigi Mangione. You'll remember him. He's the alleged assassin of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He was in court this morning. This morning, a judge in that case dismissed 2 state terrorism charges against Mangione. And supporters of Mangione, listen to that, of a supposed assassin, have been outside of the courthouse all morning. Both of these cases, dueling cases, are unfolding as we learn about a disturbing trend across digital platforms, the normalization of what they're calling assassination culture. All right, well, a new study taking a look at something very serious. It's called assassination culture, where they're asking people about whether political violence could be acceptable. Now, over half of respondents who said they were left of center said murdering Elon Musk or President Trump may be at least somewhat justified. Researchers argue this acceptance is part of an entire belief system which they saw promoted again and again on the social media site Blue Sky. The study claims the site plays a significant and predictive role in amplifying radical ideation where, quote, users are increasingly associating the memification of Luigi Mangione with calls for political violence against Musk, Trump, and others, reflecting the growing cyber-social pressure of assassination culture. Now, just look at Mangione's supporter outside the courthouse today. They are cheering after the New York Appellate Court tossed out state-level terrorism charges. Watch this. I mean, Smug, those are people cheering for someone who took the life of a man, not just a man. He has a name, he has a face, he has a family, and yet you have cheerleaders for the assassin. I do want to point out about 50 to 65 Luigi supporters, according to our reporter in the courtroom. Signs of Free Luigi, people in costumes. And when you look at that and you look at the polling we just showed, it's not a one-off poll. I want to bring up some polling that Axios highlighted, again, about the Luigi Mangione case. Generation Lab, 48% said they view the killing as totally or somewhat justified. Emerson, 41% of voters under 30 found the killing acceptable. It's not one poll. It is poll after poll after poll.
Well, this dovetails in with the concept that social media and this kind of rhetoric has become such a malignant tumor, a spreading cancer in our society, to your point, fomenting. This is something that is only growing larger rather than being one-offs. And I want to point out something that the origins of radicalization, especially online, really does start with rhetoric, because when you start hearing something all the time, it becomes normalized. All of a sudden, this violent rhetoric, and when you see it coming from the mouths of Congress people and elected officials and governors and the like, it becomes normalized. And then from that, it becomes sort of an us versus them mentality that people hold as they are safe in their homes and safe in their phones while watching and feeling distant from violent rhetoric or actual violence, graphic violence on screen. And then from that stems an isolation where all of a sudden the only belonging and the only, yes, you get it too, is occurring in this online false reality violent place. And that's what then stokes these lone wolf assassins, the people that say, yeah, I gotta go out and support, because the reality has been so distorted as to make that okay. And my point is that from the beginnings, it's not about free speech anymore. It's about toning down the climate that is so incendiary that people are losing their lives for exercising appropriate free speech.
Yeah, Laura, and I want to be crystal clear here, and these are not my words. These are the words of the researchers at Rutgers. They say, just one sentence, a broader assassination culture appears to be emerging within segments of the U.S. public on the extreme left. They make crystal clear what their research has said. They go on to talk about Blue Sky, and I want to note Blue Sky did provide a statement that glorifying violence or harm violates Blue Sky's community guidelines. They review reports and take action on content. You can see the rest of their statement there. But we've got to end this. We've got to stop this dehumanization, and they say extreme left. They're very clear.
Yeah, and I just to piggyback off what Emily was saying, I think you look at where we are right now, the use of social media allows people to say things behind a screen and in a safe space they would never say to your face. And it's a clickbait culture. You know, everybody wants to outdo the last person. They want to say something so over the top it gets them attention. A lot of these media outlets are happy to print something they know is not wholly true without doing any fact checking, because they can go back later and they can say, oh, we put something at the bottom of our website that says, you know, we rescinded that. It doesn't matter. The damage is done. And so in a culture where we are all very safe behind our screens, this stuff kind of grows and gets amplified, and cancer is the exact right word for it. Everybody needs to be more responsible. The things you say matter. The things that Congress people say matter. The things our legacy media outlets say matter. The things we've all been called over the past decade as conservatives matter. Calling people Hitler is not acceptable. That induces a response from people that warrants action. Hitler was a horrific individual. We have to be more responsible with it. So as crazy as it is that we're in a space where you have 56% of respondents in this poll saying that it's somewhat justified to murder President Trump and Elon Musk, this is the United States of America. It's 2025. What are we doing?
Yeah, and just to underscore your point, I do want to play just some news we got from the FBI director earlier on Discord. We know this individual was talking on Discord, but we've learned a little bit about how big this group chat was. We still need to know what was said on it, but listen to the FBI director.
I see the public reports that the Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate, who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that, and we're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
And you're running all of that to ground?
Every single one.
Yeah, fantastic.
Harris, we need to learn what was said in that chat.
Well, the investigation will get to the bottom of that, and that is just one group. What we're talking about is societally. And to steal part of the word that you used, I'm going to add psychological to it. There is a psychological malignancy that is now creeping among us and growing. I think it's a national emergency that I'm going to say that we can call out as a society, and we don't all have to be doctors. We can see it and experience it for ourselves. Jasmine Crockett knows she's wrong. She does not care. The people on the Discord chat, which they will find, I didn't realize there were more than 20 until today from Kash Patel. But they will find that some of those people maybe don't reflexively think any of that was wrong. They probably could have taken that survey and been part of the 56% Laura mentioned that think, well, there might be some reasons for killing some people. I mean, if we have a percentage of people above zero in this country with that kind of psychological malignancy, we need to hit it head on.
56% believe it's somewhat justified. I mean, that is an astonishing place in society. And it manifests in violence, assassination attempts against Trump.
It's real.
Irina Zaruska, the list goes on, the Minneapolis church, the shooting at the NFL headquarters. My gosh, too much violence all in a year's time.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.